Hey everybody, Chad Schimmel back in the shop, and today I'm going to do some casting. And what I'm doing is testing out this epoxy resin. I mostly use two types of resins, Silmar 41 polyester resin and alumilte. And the reason I use one versus the other is the application. I do a lot of tube-in clear casting. I use polyester for that. And when I mix colors or wood and resin combos, I use alumilte. I've had good results with that. That's why I've stuck with it. But lately, there's a lot of people using epoxy resins. And although I've been tempted to try it, I just haven't because I have good results how I do it. That brings me to today's test. Someone sent me some epoxy resin, so I wanted to give it a full shot and test it on the different things that I use. I thought I would be a good candidate since I've never used epoxy resin, and I'm gonna try this. So it's a 2-to-1 mixing. You basically have your resin and your hardener, and it's supposed to cast crystal clear. That's the good thing about polyester resin to me, is it casts crystal clear when you do it right, versus alumilte looks clear, but I can never get it polished just like polyester. So that's where this might be kind of a mix of both of those, and we'll see how it works. So I'm gonna do 3 tests with this stuff. I'm gonna do a tube-on casting, no pressure pot. I'm gonna do a tube-on casting with the pressure pot, and I'm gonna do a pigment color mix like I would normally do my alumilte. And then I'll compare the results. So the first one, I've got a mold here with a tube in it ready to be cast. I have warmed the mold like I would with polyester resin, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up. This one will not be going in the pressure pot. I am noticing right away here that the viscosity is very thin. So again, mold is warm, just like I would do with polyester, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour. Okay, for test 2 and 3, I've got my pressure pot ready. I'm gonna mix 1 cup of clear for another tube-on casting, or tube-in casting. And then I'm gonna mix 2 colors just to give it some variety, and I'm gonna pour 1 blank in my trusty Fred Weissen mold here. And those will both go in the pressure pot. That way we can compare the clear in and out of the pressure pot and take a look at the color. And I am going to turn these to make sure that they turn and feel good like anything else we make. And the reason I have to do these videos with the swamp cooler off is it blows across the shop and all you'd hear is the wind tunnel. So I turn it off while I'm recording for these, but it definitely sucks. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this clear first and just get it done. Now I'll pour the blue and the brown. So, these are now ready. I'm gonna go ahead and pop them in the pot. All right, set that down in there. My disclaimer always with pressure pots, they're very dangerous. Do not use them unless you know how to use them and have been trained. There's a lot of great videos out there. Okay, so we've got the 3 experiments in the pot, 2 in the pot, 1 over there. Tomorrow, I'm gonna let this stuff cure overnight. Tomorrow, I'm gonna pull them, and then I will put them on the lathe and see how they turn out. Okay, so the liquid diamonds have sat overnight and cured. I pulled them out, and I gotta tell you, the clarity so far looks amazing. If they turn and polish as clear as they look right now, this is gonna be really nice. And another cool thing is, these are the 2 that I had not in the pressure pot, and this is the pressure pot, and they're almost as clear. I can't see any visible bubbles. So the real test will be once I turn and polish them. Now the color blank, pop it out here. It looks really good as well. This was in the pressure pot. The colors mixed but didn't blur. A lot of times if you mix the colors too soon, you just get a muddy mix of the colors rather than separated colors. But I can see on the sides, which you probably can't see, but I can see on the side the wave of the color where I poured it in. So it did keep separated, and it actually looks like it'll turn out pretty nice. So far pretty impressed with this stuff, but the real test will be turning and polishing. Well, I just finished turning the blanks, and I gotta say I'm overall impressed with the liquid diamonds. I went into this not knowing what to expect. I had never heard of it. I had never used epoxy resin, although it is gaining popularity, but the results are really good. And I would say this stuff reminds me of alumilte. A lot of its properties and the way it works are like alumilte versus the polyester. For example, this stuff is soft and forgiving versus chippy and brittle polyester. The colors, when I made the color blank, they blended really well. The polish was similar to alumilte in its dull fashion. It's polished and it's shiny, but it's not as bright and clear as like the glass polyester finish you can get. But it still did polish really well. The colors mixed nicely and didn't muddy up, which was really cool. On the tube in casting, I took a lot of time looking for bubbles in the two differences, the non-pressure pot and the pressure pot blank. The pressure pot blank, I could find zero flaws, not a single microscopic bubble, at least with what I was using. I was able to spot one bubble on the non-pressure pot, and it was on the seam where my label is, and it's so small I can only see it with my magnifiers. I can't see it with just with my eyes, so I'm kind of okay with that. But overall, very good stuff. I did, I wouldn't say rough, but I did use this stuff pretty aggressively. I used my carbide tool and my skew, and I went really fast, and I tried to take off a lot of material like I do, and it handled it really well. No chip outs, no breaks, nothing. So I do like this stuff. I'm gonna see about maybe trying some more. The one thing I am gonna do that I didn't do in this test is I'm gonna pour a rod and make a pen out of it without any parts. That way I can thread it, see how it takes a tap and die, and that'll be one more thing that I should have done here, but I kind of didn't know what to expect. So if you guys are interested, I can post that video when I do that. But good stuff. I'm gonna give it a try, and or I'm gonna use up the rest of this because I do like it, and I might even see about buying some because it was really easy to work with. So I'm gonna try one more epoxy resin that's on its way to me. I'm curious if they're all very similar or if they have different properties or do different things well. But I could see using this for either the clear tube in casting or this in the future. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.